Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. We have made it through the first day of the week. I am your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. Now, we do have some stuff to talk about tonight. We do have some stuff to talk about tonight, some severe weather on the way, as well as some heavy thunderstorms that are possible, with some, obviously, maybe some cloud to ground lightning as well as we go into Wednesday as well as Thursday. But we'll talk about that as we get into our severe weather portion. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button, make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button as well. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're at 442. Yes, 442 at this time. And again, that anything helps. Anything helps at all. So make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure that you go on and leave a comment as well. Go on and leave a comment inside the chat as we go into today and obviously or tonight, and we'll obviously talk about that at the end. But now let's go on and talk with the recorded audience for the people who can unfortunately not be here tonight. Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully everyone has had a fantastic Monday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. Now, looking at the radar right now, nothing going on for the entire state of South Carolina, but we do have some heavy rain going through Alabama as well as Mississippi and Louisiana, some rain going through Tennessee, Virginia, as well as New York, even Maine, as well as Vermont and New Hampshire. Also, Michigan as well, getting some rain as well. And as you go on over here towards North Dakota and South Dakota, as well as Nebraska, getting some rain, some storms in Montana, as well as a severe thunderstorm in Pennsylvania, at least in the western part. Going into cloud cover, right now cloud cover is looking pretty scattered. I mean, heavy cloud cover in the upstate, from the upstate all the way down to the coastal regions, but overall, it's scattered to widespread, kind of in between, and it's not as heavy like you can see over there in Alabama. They're having some heavy cloud cover over there, but most of the cloud cover here, at least, is a bit more. It's not as dense as it is over there. Going to our cloud cover for the future, as you go in and push this forward, there is obviously that cloud cover risk that will remain. I know a lot of people, at least, were asking me, saying, it looks cloudy outside. Is it going to rain? Obviously, I said no, and it didn't, because it just did not have the moisture. The clouds did not have the moisture with it, and overall, that's why it did not rain at all, even with all that cloud cover with it. As you go in and push through even into even tonight, into tomorrow morning, that cloud cover will still remain, and tomorrow morning it's still going to be the exact same thing. That cloud cover is still going to remain even as you go 18 hours into the future. As you go into our current temperature, 73 in Columbia as well as 71 in Winnsboro, 70 inside of Camden and Bishopville as well as Florence, 66 in Conway as well as 70 in Myrtle Beach, 68 in Georgetown as well as 68 in Ondahl, 68 in Somerville as well as 68 inside of Walterboro, 66 in Hampton as well as 70 in Beaufort, 71 in Hilton Head Island as well as 71 in Aiken, 70 in Anderson as well as 70 in Greenville, 71 in Spartanburg as well as Gaffney and Rock Hill, 72 in Lancaster as well, or 70 in Lancaster. Going into our low temperatures for tonight, 64 in Greenville, 63 in Spartanburg as well as Anderson, 62 in Greenwood, 63 inside of Lawrence as well as 61 in Newberry, as well as even 61 in Moncks Corner, 69 in Charleston, 65 in Myrtle Beach, and 64 Georgetown, 67 inside of Hilton Head Island. In terms of your forecast precipitation for the next 24 hours, 100th of an inch to a tenth of an inch possible inside of Girard, Winnsboro, Newberry, even Lawrence and Greenwood. Anderson as well has that chance for 100th of an inch to a tenth of an inch. Even inside of Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch is possible as we go into the next 24 hours from now to 8 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday. And then as we go into the SPC outlook, you see we have that little thunderstorm risk up there just to the north and west or west of Greenville and Spartanburg. It is very small, minuscule, and if there was, any thunderstorms to occur, it would be late tonight, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. and pretty much it's not really anything else past that. As you go into tomorrow, though, this is our severe weather tomorrow, Tuesday, April the 22nd, 2025. We have a marginal risk of severe weather that goes for places like Rock Hill, Lancaster, as well as York, Chester, going all the way into Bennettsville and Chesterfield, as well as just to the north of Florence near Darlington and Hartsville. There is a marginal risk of severe weather. This is a 5% chance of damaging winds, meaning that there is at least a chance for 40 to 60 mile per hour winds in some areas. Overall, I mean, you could get a 60 mile per hour wind gust, but that would be very, I'd honestly say, unexpected and just very unlucky, especially if you have damage with it, as well as it's just so low of a risk. The confidence is not that high. It's pretty low confidence, but if it happens, it happens. It's possible. And also hail as well, same thing. Small hail, definitely could be inside the question. But an isolated hailstone of up to an inch is possible. Again, very unlikely, but it's possible, and that's why we have that risk out. As you go into Wednesday as well, and I didn't even talk about how thunderstorms are possible for the rest of the entire state as well, not just that marginal risk region as well. So from Spartanburg all the way down to the coastal regions, thunderstorms are possible throughout the entire region. And same thing, the entire state has a chance for a thunderstorm on Wednesday. So definitely watch for that as we go into Wednesday as well. Now let's talk about our short-term future. Short-term future over here says that, honestly, inside the future, we do have an active future ahead. And as we wait for it to load up right here at 9 p.m., here it is right here. And as we go in and push this forward all the way through tonight, obviously you see 4 o'clock in the morning, that thunderstorm activity there as well. And as we continue through all the way to around 7 o'clock in the morning, there is some more shower thunderstorm activity that's possible over here inside of Greenville, as well as Seneca, maybe even as well as Spartanburg as well. That continues going all the way into around 8 a.m., going into around 10 a.m., and then even through 11 a.m. as well. 2 p.m., here you go, you can see it right here. Just some more shower activity, but there goes our risk. Here goes our little risk right here for some potential severe to potentially strong to severe storm that's going to move up inside of North Carolina. And as you go on and continue that, goes all the way probably to around 8 p.m., going all the way to around 11 p.m. as well. But mainly these storms that are pushing through, that's mainly going to be around 6 p.m. all the way to around 8 p.m. So inside that time frame, Tuesday evening is when you're potentially watching for it. And if you want to see Cape as well, obviously not the most amount, but it's there. And you can see starting off by around 6 p.m. Also, you can see there's a bunch of Cape down here inside of the Low Country in the PD region as well. Luckily, there is not a lot of moisture down here, because if there was some moisture down here and you had some good thunderstorms roll through these regions, this could potentially also spark a severe weather threat all the way down here. But there's not a lot of moisture like there is up here. And obviously the lower Cape values are up here, which is why it's inside that marginal risk. Now, you can see some areas around 800, but again, those are just isolated areas. But going back, now let's go even further into the future, all the way past tomorrow night, going into around 2 a.m., there still is some shower activity that goes all the way through around 5, 6, 7 a.m., maybe even 8 a.m. as well, as thunderstorm activity could potentially still continue. And you can see just all of this right here in terms of just shower and thunderstorm activity at 2 p.m., where obviously it's the hottest time of the day and have the storms quickly intensify. So, and if you go on and look at Cape here as well, because I do want to look at that real quick, you can see that there is Cape here. So honestly, would not be surprised if they did introduce some sort of marginal to maybe even slight risk of severe weather for Wednesday as well. But again, we're going to follow what the experts say. We're not going to say, oh, it should be this or it should be that. We're just going to monitor what the professionals say, and we're going to keep it at that. Going into our long term though. So here we go at around 8 p.m. tonight, going all the way to around 300 to 400 hours into the future. You can see obviously there goes our little rain risk here, going all the way through, and just that repeated rain activity, which is what we need. Going all the way into April the 26th. going all the way into around April the 28th as well. So this rain activity that we're getting very beneficial, and after we're done with all of it, you can see all of these totals will amount to around an inch or two for a good amount of us. Some even less, probably to around a half an inch for a good amount of us. I will say, down there near Hilton Head Island, it was saying that there wasn't going to be much precipitation. That has drastically increased, which is what we want to see. And so hopefully that will continue going up, as we definitely need the rainfall. As we continue going into around May the 1st, still some shower activity is possible up there inside the upstate, staying dry all the way until we get to around May the 4th and May the 5th, until some showers start to go through. May the 6th and even May the 7th as well. But May the 6th, May the 7th, that's a bit too far out. Even going into like May the 4th is, just still too far out to talk about. So anything from May the 4th on to the future, just disregard that. And so now let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Ms. Tolliver says, good evening. Hoping for some rain. My pond needs it. I have a mallard family and a Canadian goose family back there right now. That's fantastic. The rain, or the pond definitely does need the rain. Thank you so much for the pond update. My cousin Cheryl says, good evening. Hope all is well. And I hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend with you and your family. I'm at work still listening. I'm telling people about you. Love you much. Your cousin Cheryl. Thank you so much for spreading the word about the channel as well. As I saw, we got a big bump in subscribers over the past couple of days. Definitely more active than it was, obviously maybe a week or two ago. So thank you to the people that are sharing it with all of their friends, family, acquaintances, people that you just met at the grocery store last night, anything like that. Trail says, hi, just if I did not get my notification, yeah, sometimes YouTube will do that, and it will get off track, and it won't count it. I know sometimes if I go live too much, it will kind of stop the notification, but that shouldn't have been the case this time, since I only went live one time, so honestly, I'm not quite sure, probably just something on YouTube's end. Angels1980 says, hoping we have more than a 50% chance of rain, birds need it. It just matters on where you are. If you're inside the upstate, there's a good chance you probably will receive rain. And honestly, throughout this entire week, you should definitely see a drop of rain, though, I would say, throughout the week. If you don't see any rain, then you would just be very unlucky at that point. But I think that at least a good amount of people, if not everyone, will see at least a drop of rain this week. My cousin Thad says, good evening, Joseph. Another beautiful day here in San Antonio. I hope all is well. All is well. Thank you so much for asking. Glad it was a good day over there. And that's it. So let's go on and talk about the crazy score. It's at 18 right now, which is about normal. That 16 to 30 mild category. Obviously with no rain expected, except for up there inside the upstage, just some scattered shower. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm. It's not much, and so that's why it's inside that mild category, only at that 18 right now. But it definitely will increase tomorrow, and so tomorrow morning we'll talk about it, and obviously it will be higher, probably inside that moderate to maybe even strong category as well. So now that is it in terms of the South Carolina crazy score. The rest of what we're going to talk about for tonight, the wildfire update. Then we're going to talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. And then we're going to talk about what's going on throughout the entire United States. If you want to know what's going on throughout the entire United States, even with somebody that may be out there in a different area, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, or Florida, or all the way up there inside of New York or Maine or wherever, make sure that you stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the wildfire update first. You can see that we did have a little wildfire that is now controlled, or reported. That was actually last update at 9:06. So that fire is still going on inside of Berkeley County right now. That is over there just to the east of North Charleston. 0 acres though, so it's barely anything. And then a wildfire started in Georgetown. It's 100% contained, and it pretty much was like 0 acres, so nothing really much there. Carolina Forest wildfire is still going on, as there is still at 90% contained. I have no idea what's going on with that. It's been like that for like the past couple of weeks, and so honestly I'm not quite sure on what to say about that anymore. And now let's go on and talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. Starting off with San Antonio first. And if you don't know why we do these forecasts for San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia, we do have people watching from those three areas, and obviously not inside of South Carolina, which is why we do them. Also for their support for all three of them. Here is your low temperatures for tonight in San Antonio for around 69. High temperatures tomorrow at 88. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 71. No precipitation is expected tonight. And during the day tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms as well as tomorrow night as well. As you go into Raleigh, Raleigh is our next area. Its precipitation is not expected tonight, as well as tomorrow. There is a slight chance of thunderstorms during the day. Showers are likely tomorrow night. 81 is your high temperature for tomorrow. Low temperatures for tonight and tomorrow night is 63. Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight 57. High temperatures tomorrow at 78. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 55. Precipitation is possible. Chance of showers tonight. And then during the day tomorrow and tonight, no precipitation is expected. And so now what's going on in terms of severe weather for all of those regions, starting off with Raleigh. First, Raleigh is under a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for tomorrow. That is obviously for wind and hail. Same thing that we were talking about earlier with South Carolina. 5% chance of damaging wind, 5% chance of damaging hail. And then San Antonio as well also has a chance for some thunderstorms as you go into Tuesday and Wednesday, though not severe. And other than that, that is it in terms of severe weather. So what's going on throughout the entire United States? There is a good amount going on. Showers and thunderstorms are expected to linger across the deep south through the next couple of days as a trailing front stalls across the region. Isolated to scattered severe thunderstorms may produce large hail, severe gusts, and heavy rain across portions of the southern plains into the southeast Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's pretty much it. There is red flag warning for Nebraska as well as Kansas, Colorado as well. Also some freezing potentially up there inside the northwest, and then maybe even some frost as well in northwestern Oregon, as well as northwestern California. And that's it. So I do believe that there's nothing else really going on. Everything else is quiet. Southeast looking quiet, northeast looking kind of quiet, I guess. And let me go in and check out the chat one more time. I don't see anything else, so I'm going to assume that that's all for tonight. If you have anything else to say, I'll read it in like the next 5 minutes or so. You still have 5 minutes to leave a chat if you go on and leave it in if you want me to respond. And I will be back tomorrow morning with your Tuesday forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of their Monday evening.